Orange Dude here, and I wanted to go over some applications that can help you while using Destiny 2. I feel they're both very good applications, and I apologize for the sounds. I'm trying to use a different software so I can record my browser and dim, so I can show you all these applications. But essentially, I will be showing y'all the D2 checklist and the Destiny item manager. I think these are both great applications. They do lots of different things, and they both show you quite a bit of information. So I'm going to first show off the D2 checklist because I feel like this is the one that's a little more underrated. A little less people know about it. Essentially, this one is going to let you track a lot of things. You can look at the Grimoire Anthology. I don't even know what that is, actually. You can look at Grimoire. You can look at your info. You can look at your triumphs, pursuits. That's your quests. You have quests, gear, um, and all kinds of stuff. But the triumphs is one of the things that I think is most useful, and the actual checklist here lets you know how many of these dead exos you're missing. Lets you know penguins souvenirs, the entropic shards, entropic. I don't really know. Corrupted eggs lets you know exactly which ones you're missing and where they are, which is very great. Some of these actually even have a video beside them that you can like click. It'll send you to a YouTube video showing where this corrupted egg is. I think these are all really great. It also shows it shows a lot of stuff. Like this is like time or the amount of clears getting per hour on certain activities. Um, Also shows your completions over here and your time in these activities and your KD in these activities. Anyways, all great information. All great information, but it also can show the items that are being sold this week, which I think is very, very good. You can check Xur out from here. You can check the stat rolls out from here. You can check the mods that you're missing from here. And you can also check spider stuff from here. It'll tell you the Grandmaster or the Nightfall, how many modifiers on it. It'll tell you the lost sectors. It'll tell you strikes, the Crucible, Empire Hunts, Altar of Sorrow, like weapon, and the Dreaming City Ascendant Challenge, where it's at, and what the curse strength technically is. So it tells you lots of the stuff that is for the day. So if you're like looking for a daily activity, this is what to do. Also, it shows you the shopping list for bounties. So if you're a bounty person who really likes to go for these bounties, you can pick up what you already have, or you can check what you already have and see what you need to do. You can check these things for sale, what you can like group up. Like you can do 12 or 13 things in the EDZ of today, apparently, my hunter. On all three characters, actually. So there's 13 things to be all done on the EDZ, which is pretty great to be able to just like know that's what it is. You can check your friends' statuses, like if you're trying to check if they have this corrupted egg or something or another. You can check that for them before you go looking for it. You can check your collections. You can check what you're missing, and it shows everything. It even will show old stuff in the collections area, so it's kind of nice to see. Um, and it even can show recent teammates if you've been doing stuff recently, and it's pretty great to use all around. I think it's very helpful for figuring out what you can get, what you need. I don't know if it can check. Oh yeah, you can press to do. You can see how many pinnacles you have left. You can see where their pinnacles are, and you can even see if you didn't clear the final encounter, if you cleared like the first 4, or didn't clear the final, or just cleared like the middle 3 or whatever. You can see what character has cleared raids and all kinds of stuff like that. I feel is very great to use for that kind of stuff. And it lets you know where your rewards are still available at. Um, Another thing you can do is also compare armors and weapons with this application. You won't really need to compare ghost vehicles or materials, like there's no point to do so. They all do the same thing. There's not really much to do about those. But the armors, you can check what you can go here in this little drop down, and you can go to armor stat preferred, what you prefer on your stats for your armor. These are the ones that I prefer personally. It might already have like this or something on those, I think, if you just started, or if you just open this. And then also you can show show armor perks or stuff like that. But anyways, so you can categorize your armor by what is most like the stats you want. You can also go here, I want the best of my Titan stuff. So my best Titan stuff is on my boots, apparently. 57 out of 63 is stats where I want them. Or say I want to go the Hunter. And you can go like, I want to do the Hunter, but I want them to be chest pieces with arc energy. And it compares my two. Or Solar, or Stasis, or none. And I can just compare all the chest pieces all at once and see which one has the best, which would be my Solar one. So it's really great for that. You can compare any of your slots against everything and just see what is the best, and it helps out with that. And on top of that, you can compare your weapons. So if you have way too many weapons or way too many of exotic armors or something, you can compare those. You can just click right here where it says copies, and if you click that once, it says it has the arrow pointing down. So all your things that you have 4 of will go here. So here's the thing about what this setup is. So if you click this, it compares only that weapon to itself, right? So it's only going to compare corrective measures to corrective measures. It doesn't count time loss corrective measures, and it doesn't count like adepts weapons. It just does only that weapon without the adept or time loss. So if you're trying to compare those weapons to the ones that they are like, you have to click this button down here. So it's going to compare it to commemoration also, which as you can see, I have a couple of those that I've really liked, and then I have a couple of these that I've really liked, and so I'm sure I'll try to decide between all of these. But you can compare, say, I have this Ikelos, I can compare it to even the Optative from like 2 seasons ago, which is actually Sunset, I think. I don't remember. But you can compare so many different options using just this one button here, and it compares their perk trees, it compares their stats overall. You can see even each of their reload speeds. You can see their aim assist. You can see their recoil direction. It's really great to use. Um, I can see all kinds of stuff, and you can also compare like certain ones with the Palindrome Adept. Like I can be like, oh, these are all bad, um, and I can mark them as junk and fuse them or keep or upgrade. I think that only stays on this site. Um, I don't really use these things over here because I just decide in the moment. I'm like, well, I have 4 of these. I better kill at least 3 of them so I can at least free up my vault so it's not at 500 out of 500. That's usually what I come here for. So that is a very good option. You can just go next page, next page, next page, and you can keep checking what you have. Say you have 3 of these, you want to get rid of one of these, you can be like, okay, which one of these is the worst roll? This one is good, this one's good, this one doesn't have it good, but I like the killing when kill clip combinations, so I'm going to keep it. So which one of these do I not like? This one's got Acrise. So you could just, it's really good for just comparing things, is what I use this for. If you get multiple of a certain thing, you don't know which one to keep, coming here is usually a good option. It tells you what people prefer on the gun. It tells you what people like what people like on the gun and what is considered the best roll on a certain gun. Of course, keep in mind that these perks are only considering it usually boss damage if they're for PvE. They're considering what is going to be the best roll for boss damage or ad clear, or boss damage for heavy weapons and ad clear for the non-heavy weapons. Because like subsistence, this was considered like a bad perk to have on it until recently when the people started using it more often. It became a good perk because the buff to subsistence. But I've had this since way before it became a good roll, and it was considered like bad roll. It didn't even have this good roll here. So some stuff is worth keeping. I wouldn't always say to just shard something just because it's not considered a good roll in this. But generally, if it's not considered a good roll, it may just be because it's not a good roll. But overall, using this is very, very helpful to compare what weapons you want to keep, what weapons you want to get rid of. I mean, there's also going to be moments where you just like you don't have a weapon that you really think fits the role that you want it to be. So you might as well just like keep all 3 of them, figure out which one works best at the moment, and if you need to use it before you get a good roll, then just keep using the ones you got. Whichever one you think fits the moment the best. I've used lots of weapons that I don't feel like really are the top tier weapon of what I want, but it was a good option, so I used it at the moment. Anyways, so you can use that. You can even compare only like energy weapons of arc to each other. You can be like, I only want arc pulse rifles, and you compare what you have. You can do that for nearly every gun. It's really nice to use, and also every time you press this button right here on anything that has an element, it's only going to compare weapons of that element, even if they're of the same archetype, versus if they're kinetic. Not fusion rifle. Let's go hand cannon. If they're kinetic and they're a hand cannon, any hand cannon that is a 120 is going to show up here, and not just the ones that are. So since it's not comparing arcs, so this one has all the 140s all right here, and this one's gonna have. Where's the 180s? There's a 180, so it has all the kinetic 180s right there. So it's pretty nice to use. I don't think it's the best thing to always use, but I think this is a great tool. Now it's a dim. Dim is a very different thing. The obvious thing is you can move guns around. You can just like click and drag, and that's gonna put that gun there. So if I wanted my Cloud Strike on my main character, I just clicked and dragged, and there it is. So it's useful for that. You can also just like pull stuff from your postmaster. Candy doesn't really work, and these engrams won't work. But if it's a prime engram, you can pull it to the character. If it's a blue, you can pull it to the character, like these right here. I think I pulled those from the postmaster just a second ago. But postmaster pulling is kind of useful sometimes. And you can also view what's in the postmaster. You can be like, what's in there? What do I need to take out? And you can just like get stuff out of the way and then pull stuff from the postmaster. You can pull it one at a time, whatever you want to do. You compare your whole inventory. You compare what's in the vaults. It's very useful for many items, just item transfer. This is a whole nother thing. This can show your quests, your bounties, your seasonal challenges, milestones and challenges. So the milestones is kind of like the to-do list on D2 checklist. It's kind of the same thing. This one is a little simpler to read than this one because this one's just so scattered everywhere. And then you can check your ranks on everything. And then you can check which raids you've done. There's that kind of that simplicity of this is right here. And the quest items you have and the quests that you have. I generally, you can check each character too. You can like click through the characters. I use this for quests. This page for quests usually. I don't usually use it for raids because I have D2 checklists most of the time if I'm trying to check raids status and stuff like that. Also, you can use the vendors, so you can check all the vendors from this application, including the seasonal ones like Book of the Forgotten and Eva Levante. It's kind of nice to use those. And you can also check Xur. You can check his legendary weapons, his legendary armor. You can check exactly what their roles are from here. I think you can kind of do that from here. I don't know where oh, there's vendors. So you can check all the bounties. You can check all the weapons. You can check their roles from here. So it's useful. Both kind of do the same thing there. What is even this? I heard people talk about this. It's decent. I like it. Anyways, all that aside, it can show you quest rewards for certain things. I don't really know why that's a quest reward, but it was last time I did it, so it's kind of nice. Also, you have the records. So there's going to be triumphs, seasonal challenges. Same thing that D2 checklist does. It's just a little bit more hidden, I guess you could say, here. I personally just use D2 checklist because it has a little bit more to offer when it comes to comparing stuff. And it tells you like god rolls versus good rolls. Because D2 checklist, if you look at my guns, they're just gonna have thumbs up next to them, which doesn't tell you if it's like considered the good roll or the god roll, like the best roll in the game. So I generally just don't use this one as often, or don't use this compare guns as often. I use D2 checklist every time I want to compare guns or armors, but I think they're both viable options for plenty of things. And this is the loadout optimizer. I think this is great, especially if you want to make, say, I want to make a Sunbracers build. I really love the Sunbracers. I've been using them for a long time, and all of a sudden I really want to throw a lot of grenades more often. So I'm going to select the exotic first of all. I'm going to select the mods I want to use. Say I want to use, let's say I want to punch some stuff. So I want to use this. Causing damage with a grenade reduces your melee cooldown. That sounds great to me. That gives me exactly what I want. So, because whenever I use a melee kill, that gives me all the grenades back because I'm using Sunbracers. So that sounds perfect. I want to use that mod. So I'm just going to go ahead and press select mods. And it considers that I put that mod only on Arc pieces. So it's saying I can transfer this to Arc, or I can transfer this to Arc. I'm not going to usually do that. I'm usually just going to use a build that has the Arc piece on a chest piece like this. And then I'm going to say I want to have at least a tier 6 strength. And it's kind of bugging out a little bit, I guess, right now. I haven't ever had this happen where it's trying to put another exotic in there when I already chose this one. Exclude all helmets that are exotic, please. Where is that one? Huh, that's interesting. Okay. I don't really know what it's doing. There it goes. Maybe if I click it again, it'll just break again. Cool. Okay, it doesn't want me to make a Sunbracers build for some reason. There we go. This one's working. I haven't seen that bug before. If you get that bug, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, but I want to make an Aeon Sol build now because the game decided to hate me, or Dim decided to hate me. So we're gonna just go ahead and use Sunbracers as our exotic, and I wanted a tier 6 strength because I want to just punch stuff for some reason, and I wanted a tier 7 recovery. Oh, that's not possible. So let me try adding a recovery mod. Looky there. I can just go in here and add one. Oh, that's this one. Where's recovery? There's recovery. So if I add one recovery mod, oh, I can do it now. Look at there. I can hit a tier 7 recovery and a tier 6 strength with just one recovery mod. That sounds perfect. So I can go and just look at which options I have using just this helmet. I don't want to use this helmet because I don't know why that's offered. Why is that considered good? Oh, because it has 22 strength. That's why it's considered good. I don't run strength on any helmets. And this one has enough recovery to hit that tier 7, while this one's still hitting tier 6 off the rest of the armors, being strength. Anyways, it's really good at making builds if you really want to like build out your specs and build out your stats. I know I've been using it, and once you make it, you can press save loadout over here. Be like, I want to save that loadout, and it'll just save the 2 mods you've had. It can't equip mods, you'll have to do that in game, but it'll save what armor pieces you put on, and you just press save, and whenever you go back to your inventory, you can go down here and you have a drop down of stuff. You can also do this with weapons. So like right now, if I click that Atheon, it pulls up all my Atheon gear, which is going to be Hung Jury, Cartesian, and 1000 Voices. I've actually recently adapted to using this Reed's Regret because it has firing line and that got buffed recently, but that's beside the point. It's really great tool. I use this for all my loadouts. My hunter especially has some really cool loadouts with Bacchus using stasis. It'll actually auto equip stasis for you if you set that as your subclass. On top of this, it cannot change the tree of the element that it's putting you on. I don't think it may be able to. I couldn't tell you. You can randomize loadout though. I could click randomize right here. I could click weapons and it'll only randomize my weapons here. So if I click that, it'll put on some random weapons. It decided Adept, Azume, Chroma Rush, and Cloud Pleaser. Interesting loadouts. But you can just like go into Crucible and be like, I want to click random loadout, and just keep clicking it until you get 3 Crucible weapons that you like, or just keep clicking it every time you do a new match, and it'll just equip different weapons every time. And it's fun to mix it up. It's fun to change things up. And you can actually click before random to just go back to what you had. And you can create loadout based off what you have equipped. If you really like what you have equipped, so you can just be like, oh, create loadout off of what I have on right now, and just press equipped. And it really helps. So I hope that helps all of y'all. I've been playing for a while and only found some of these functionalities later on, and I think they're very good to use, especially this loadout optimizer. If you want to optimize a build for any weapon or any, there we go, any exotic, it's really great for using that. You can check what your stats are. So like right up here, this is 32 tiers, so 32 tiers of all these stats. So 7 in recovery, 8 in discipline, 5 in intellect, 3 in strength, 4 in resilience, and 5 in mobility. If I wanted to make sure I always have 5 strength, I can click right here, and I at least get 5 strength, and I still hit a tier 30. So it's really great to use. I mean, as you add more mods, it'll go up in tiers. So that just understand that that's going to happen just because you're adding more of these recovery mods or more resilience mods. Like it's going to be tier 31 now, even though essentially without mods they're going to be tier 30. But it's great usage. I hope this helps somebody, and please leave a comment below if you would like to know any other information about these kind of applications. Thanks, and bye.